This comment says, my dog is reactive, and my dad now lives with a poorly trained dog with no boundaries. My dog travels with me. Is positive or neutral interaction possible? This is a great question. It can be really tough when you're working on specific goals with your dog and the environment doesn't always cooperate, especially when the environment is family members. And so the answer to this question depends on a lot of factors. One is, how are we defining reactive? In other words, how does your dog actually feel about other dogs? If your dog is fearful or anxious of other dogs, that might be a very different situation than if your dog is overexcited or a frustrated greeter. And then it also depends what poorly trained with no boundaries means. I suspect that potentially in this context, it means that the dog is not able to hear and respond appropriately to communication from the other dog, or potentially in other contexts, so maybe is highly aroused. And that could definitely be hard for a dog who struggles with big feelings also. And so let's say the situation is jumping all over and highly aroused when you come in the door. That could be potentially really hard for another dog, and they may view that as a negative or adverse interaction. And that's the crux of it, is what you want to avoid are negative interactions. And so the goal can be to manage as much as possible, right? So collaborating with other family members to say, and this depends on how flexible the other people are, but, could new puppy be behind a baby gate? Or is it okay if I, toss some treats for new puppy when I come in the door? Or it might mean saying, hey, I really don't want the dogs to interact. My dog really isn't going to appreciate the way your dog is greeting, or, that excitement. It might be better to let them calm down before they interact. And so you want to focus in situations like this on your dog's experience, and everyone's experience, of course, as much as possible. But what you can really control is your dog's experience, and to look at those specific situations where things are difficult, and see how much you can manage, and then how much you can work through. And how much that depends on having the cooperation of the other person can really vary.